Okay. So since Vidya is the main part in the last 3 days of Navaratri, basically the order goes like Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati. So the last 3 days are more predominant for Saraswati. That's why during Navami day, we invoke Saraswati and seek blessings from the perspective of Vidya. All said and done, while material things do provide experience and pleasure from a transactional reality, finally things culminate at the level of concepts, and at the level of concepts things become quite subtle, and that's when knowledge, the part of knowledge starts. So everything that we see or everything that we perceive finally is a set of experience which is available as a vritti. So all this is all a part of transactionary world. And in terms of knowledge, of knowing how things happen, how they happen, based on what they happen, going to the cause, understanding the cause effect relationships, and when we go to the ultimate, we understand what is the ultimate cause. So this contemplation is more to do with intellectual activity, understanding. So that's where Vidya comes as the main focus. There's one line which comes in one of the Puranas. I'm not remembering which one. These lines go this way: Sa vidya ya vimuktaye tat karma na bandhayate. Sa vidya या विमुक्तये आयासायात परम कर्म vidya anyat shilpa naipunam. So this is in the context of Vidya. So what this Purana says is that Vidya means that which gives moksha to one person. That alone can be called Vidya. And karma, the best karma is that which does not bind a person to it. Normally, when we take karma, a person gets stuck with karma itself, which is not the vision of Shastra. The vision of Shastra is hold on to that disposable glass as long as you take the drink or food inside you. After that, the disposable has to be discarded. That becomes kind of a recycled stuff. Right? So, you can hold on to something until the time it is meaningful. Even in our transactionary world, if we have a kind of a paper cup, we use it until the time we drink that rose milk or coffee or tea, whatever it is. After that, ideally no one holds on to that one. It is not that we keep carrying that for life. After that particular utility is done, the container can be discarded. As far as we are concerned, though others may use it, but in the context of food, we don't reuse it. That's a different thing altogether from a hygiene perspective. So, once particular tool is used, once it serves that purpose, tool becomes immaterial. One should not be dependent on the tool all the time. Tool is meant for progressing a person from one level to the next level. Not that tool wants you to be attached to it forever. That should not happen. So, tat karma yanna bandhayate. That is karma which does not bind a person to that karma. So don't keep doing something forever. You may do, but don't expect the same, not with the same attitude that today I am doing something, I want something. So the same want should not continue forever when you do that. So you should have already matured saying, oh, there is nothing called wants. Actually, I am that Brahman. I am that Aham Brahmasmi. So that level one has to achieve actually, where people go beyond wants by understanding the true nature. So karma is that which does not bind a person to it. Similarly, sa vidya ya vimuktaye. Ya vimuktaye sa vidya. That which liberates is alone called vidya. If there is any other knowledge which binds a person, creates even more bondage, it does not help at all. We may know more and more techniques, for example, of Dream 11, whatever that gambling, what we say, IPL Dream 11. We may know, maybe we may cross the first level, second level, third level, we may become a pro on that, but there is no end to it. That knowledge is only going to bind a person to it forever, not release that person out of it. So one may think, when one gets into it, he may think that fine, once I get 1 crore, I am done, I will come out of it. Maya being what it is, once he becomes a pro in that, 1 crore becomes a small thing, a small speck actually in his vision over a period of time, then he would want 100 crores. This is how Maya binds a person. So one has to be very clear about it. While Maya provides the entire Jagat, one has to understand what is useful to oneself from the array of things which is available. So that Golu is basically an array. And all that is available in this transactionary world is a buffet. One has to first understand what is in his hita and what is not in his hita. That definitely is knowledge. Knowing that definitely is knowledge. What is that which will help me to progress to the next level of maturity and hold me there for some time until I progress to the next level of maturity. If we have this kind of a tool available, this kind of a piece of information available, that certainly is better karma and better vidya. Yanna bandhayate ya vimuktaye. So that is what is a real helpful item out of the entire array, entire buffet that is provided to us by Maya, by Devi. So we have to understand that we are provided, we are endowed with everything that is available here as Jagat. We should only understand that certain things are useful, use them for sadhana, create that purity of mind, and then do vichara. So now coming to Vidya. So Vidya is always about something. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of something. And one thing we have seen is everything that belongs to world, Jagat, is anitya. So knowing that is not going to be helpful eternally. For example, if someone knew how the old Kodak films or whatever the camera worked, the one which you had these reels and all, if someone became an expert and PhD on that, now no longer it is valid. So we also have this nice word in the technology world called obsolescence. So normally any piece of information which is related to the transactionary world can become obsolete. The only difference is how fast it becomes obsolete can be relative. For example, if someone understands the chemistry or physics which is happening in sun, yes, that can be definitely useful until the time he or she lives, because if you take 120 years as the average age, definitely sun is going to survive beyond that time. Definitely anything to do with solar energy, what you want to research on, is going to be helpful, because the item on which you are basing the research is going to outlive your time. Fine, to that extent, okay, it is helpful. But one has to understand that one has one has taken so many janmas, one has seen the sun before as well, and you have seen so many sunsets and sunrise amidst being in so many bodies, so many yonis one has gone through. This is something as a part of Shraddha that one can internalize and understand. Yes, if I am available now, I was also available earlier. If I am with thousands of desires, I am sure I had so many desires left when the previous body left, and that desire is what is making me continue and sustain this jiva to take another body, because there has to be an owner, right, who has to claim a body, who has to use a body. So that without that owner, without that sankalpa, that body is not going to be there actually. That's the energy, which acquires body. So that kind of a magnetic force, that's what acquires body. So we have survived so many, we have been around always, and we have been in different yonis. We have seen sun, we have seen moon, we have seen stars, maybe in different yonis. So information about all these things which change is only helpful to the extent, of transactional reality, as long as either they exist or we exist. The only thing is, Viveka Chudamani, in Viveka Chudamani, we have learned very clearly that we are not pursuing that which is anitya. Everything that is anatma and anitya, we keep it aside, reduce the noise, and as an inquirer, look for that Brahman which is Nitya Vastu and it is Ekam. Shastra presents the Nitya Vastu as one undivided entity. That's where Shastra is helping us. And Shastra is helping us to come out of bondage. And in this case, the Vidya, the knowledge, is not about anything other than oneself, because anything other than oneself is anitya, as we have seen. And that knowledge which is about oneself is only going to release a person from bondage. Because Shastra pointed out, being a third umpire, it knows this. That's the reason it is able to point it out that, hey, listen, the problems that you are mentioning are from samsara and from the transactions of samsara. Please understand, you just do not know that you are the cause of this whole samsara. You are not aware of your natural self. That's the reason you are having this problem. You associate yourself with your body, mind, sense complex, which can be reasonable because that's how transactionary world happens. Yes, definitely there is a reason to say that yes, you are that body, because whenever you want to move, you move. At least when you are not able to move, at least you know that you are not able to move that body, and you cannot move any other's body otherwise. So to that extent, fine, you feel that you are stuck, that's all okay. But cognitively, come out of this understanding, come out of this wrong identity that you are stuck in this boundary. That's where the problem is. And Shastra points out to Sushupti as a state where there is a differentiation possible. And Shastra is using that opportunity to recount the experience of the inquirer, to tell him that in that state, you did not see world, you did not sense world, you never knew what was your size of your gross body itself, and you also didn't know what was your true nature as well. At the same time, even though your mind was completely kind of resolved, when you get up, you know that you had a nice sleep and you didn't dream at all, and you didn't know what kind of size you were of and how long you slept. Basically, time and space, which are the product of Maya, were all gone. So, one is able to understand it once the person comes, out of the dream state and once he is awake. So, Shastra points out that you are able to recollect it only because the ultimate witness witnesses everything, and you are actually that witness. You witness a mind which is active. Equally, you witness a mind that is resolved. When there is one continuing entity which is objectifying something else, there is definitely a space between these two. The continuing entity survives the changing entity. So Shastra is saying, please concentrate on that point, and that is available as what? That is also saying, it is also saying that continuing entity, which is Sat and Ananta, is available as Chit. So as of now, it is using the word that, because it is still mind has the sense of body, mind, sense complex. So it is still using the word that. That entity is available here in you also as Chit, which is Sat, that's the only existence, which is Ananta, which is always there beyond time. Sat, that's the only thing which exists. So it eats away space and time concept. It is of the nature of Chit. So the moment it is Chit, the person who is inquiring is directly addressed. So, in a way, the person comes to class wearing the identity of body mind sense complex, because mind has this ignorance located in it, and that is supposed to be made available for the therapy of Shastra. And once knowledge is given, from that mind only the ignorance has to go. But all the while, mind understands that it was working based on the support of this Chit only all the time. All the time. Even when mind was resolved, Chit was always there, which was the kind of third empire, it was witnessing everything. When mind understands this, mind is completely resolved. That point is called Akhanda Vritti, that is called self-realization. Mind completely abides, understanding its limited existence. So now mind is not confused with this entire Jiva. Jiva does not think I am limited. Jiva is very clear, I am the witness. Mind is limited, mind is a part of Jagat, which is Anitya. Everything which is a part of Jagat has to be Anitya, is Anitya, so be it. I am not bothered about it. I have to just de-entangle my understanding from this confusion. I am that Chit based on which this entire thing functions. The word Sat is to indicate that that's the only Sad Vastu. Nitya Vastu Ekam, Brahman, Tad Vitariktam Sarvam Anityam. So that is what is Sat. That's the only existence. If at all there is a concept of existence, it is that. If at all there is Vidya, it is Atma vidya. So like that, existence is Sat. And Ananta, that's where time is nullified. It's Ananta, it survives time. So there is nothing called time. See, when mind is there, you have thought. The distance between two thoughts is actually time. The distance between two objects is space. When there are no objects, space is irrelevant. When there is no mind, thoughts are not there. Only when two thoughts can happen, you can have time sense. Otherwise, time is not there. It is just a concept used by mind for its own understanding, for its own daily transaction. That's all. There is nothing called time at all otherwise. So, Sthula Shukshma gone, Sthula Sharira gone, no space. Sukshma Sharira gone, no thoughts, hence no time. So, the very concept of a second is with respect to first. When we say 1 second, it is already the second point with respect to the first point. The second is with respect to the second. The third second is with respect to the second. So like this, when you see, unless there is a point of fixation which is granted by mind only, there is no second at all. Shastra says, Advitiya, second thing does not exist. There is only one thing. When there is only one thing, obviously it is all pervasive. All pervasiveness is not something where I am available here, like the way it is depicted in Purana. When Krishna is, for example, in Dwarka, when Draupadi ji had a problem in whichever place, in that palace where the dice game was going on, she called him, and it was presented that yes, he took a little time to appear, and at the same time it was mentioned that yes, Krishna can be anywhere. So that was more presented as kind of an Ashtama Siddhi. Ashtama Siddhi is something which each of you can get even in this birth also. Each of us can get that. The only thing is we should do that sadhana. Once you understand the list of sadhana for getting Ashtama Siddhi, you will say, Bhaskar, I think Atma vidya is easier. Manish ji definitely for sure will say, Atma vidya is more easier than that one. So, there it was presented that yes, Krishna was available everywhere. But in what way Krishna is available everywhere? All the time. Not necessarily only when called. He is available as Chit everywhere. Chit as Chit. He is the only thing which is there. And what is our connection to Krishna? We are also the same Chit only. These days we say it is the world of Chip. Actually it is the world of Chit. There is only Chit. Nothing else is available actually. So, on a lighter note, India can give chips also to the world and also chit also to the world and so forth. When I say chip, it is basically the integrated circuit stuff. So, Sa vidya ya vimuktaye tat karma yanna bandhayate. So, in the context of knowledge, let us understand Atma vidya, vidya about oneself, not about anything other than ourselves, because everything else is anitya. The vidya about oneself is the only vidya which is going to help us come out of bondage. Coming out of bondage means no more vidya is required, because there's only one thing that exists. What else will you understand? There is nothing else to understand. Understand that, and later, even if you want to enjoy fiction, you can always enjoy a book of fiction. You can enjoy green tea as well. You can enjoy coffee. Anything you want, you can enjoy. But then that becomes not Vishaya Ananda. That becomes a Swarupa Ananda. You are already happy. Happily, you are going after things which is available in the world. Actually, you are not going after anything. You are just pursuing things. They are available. That's it. That's all. So being happily you are pursuing things. That's what happens when you understand your true nature, the Swarupa. The Swarupa itself is Ananda. Dukkha comes only when you have a second thing other than yourself. That's why Brahma Advitiyam Brahma, understand that one as oneself, not as Krishna, not as Shiva, not as anyone else, or not as Devi. Devi is helping us to resolve this entire world of differences and bringing and culminating this entire knowledge into oneself, where the knowledge, the knower, and the known, which is Brahman, all these three merge. They just become one. After that, there is no difference at all. So this is what is Atma vidya, and this is what we have been pursuing all this while. And this is what I wanted to share on this auspicious day of Dashara. And I'm happy that we completed 1 year without any hindrance until now. And happy that you have so many mumukshus and people who have Shraddha. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita. So it's very difficult to get mumukshutvam. Jantunam narajanma durlabham. Ata pumsatvam tato viprata. Tasmad vaidika dharma marga parata. Vidvatvam asmat param. Atmanatma vivechanam svanubhavo brahmatmana samstiti. Muktirno shatakoti janma sukritaihi punyaihi vina labhyate. Unless people are lucky enough to have performed certain punya, it's very difficult to get human birth. Having obtained human birth, pursue that vidya which gives vimukti, which gives mukti. Tat karma yanna bandhayate sa vidyaya vimuktaye ayasaya param karma vidyanya chilpa naipunam. So every other vidya, yes, definitely transaction wise it is useful, but it is just a skill. It is a skill. But that is vidya which completely gets you out of bondage, which is the basic reason for sufferings in the world. So with this, I will finish this session, and of course I'll give an opportunity for people to ask questions, and then we will stop as per our routine practice. We'll conclude. Yes, I can see the tiredness in everyone actually. No problem.
I think it is clear.
Yes.
So, Bhaskarji, just connecting the dots. What you said about concept of space and concept of time. So, if I connect it with avastha-traya, so in awake state, in the waking state, there is the concept of space, right? We know, right? And then in our dream state, there is no concept of, we forget where we are and we are dreaming, but it is not there. But when we go into deep sleep, there are times that, those, we do not realize how long we slept. Sometimes we take a power nap, as we say, it is just 10 minutes and it feels we're so refreshed.
Yeah.
So the concept of time also vanishes there. That is, is this connection okay with what I'm connecting the dot?
Yes, it is. Only one correction I want to make. In dream also, since it's a transactionary world only, space and time both exist there. And the only thing is, you may be a different character, and you may be seeing, you may be putting up a different world there actually. So that world also has space, because the moment you have objects, you have space. That's when you have objects. So, dream world also has space and time, both this. As I keep telling, I used to test even these days, in the last maybe 1 or 2 months. When I get up anytime at night, if I have been dreaming, exactly I can tell that to the extent of, maybe plus or minus 5 minutes, I can guess the time. Plus or minus 5 minutes, I can guess the time
Okay.
actually. It's unbelievable, but then that's how it is actually. So see, like, you have this electronic watch, you switch off and switch on, right? It picks up the exact time actually. Those days, we had to reset the time, but these days, it just picks up the right time actually when you switch it off and switch it
Yes.
on. So there is kind of, some mechanism where it already continues still even when it is switched off. That's how it
Yes.
works. But Sushupti is a real switch off. What you say is right. There, space and time are gone. Both are gone actually.
Okay.
And that's the reason we do not know how long we slept, and we also do not know who were we actually, what kind of size we were of. At least in dream, at least probably we would have been a tiger or something at least, but there you don't even know who you are actually in terms of your bodily awareness. We do not know. So unfortunately, though most of the noise is not there in Sushupti, the right knowledge is also not there. The only thing is wrong knowledge is not there. Wrong
Yes.
identity
Yes.
is not there. But unfortunately, right identity is also not there. That's the reason when we wake up as the equal ignorant person who was before Sushupti. So
Yes.
that's where unfortunately, the etching is not done. So the etching happens in terms of knowledge, irreversible knowledge, only during waking up state. But since it has to be given another name, it is called Turiya. It's given as Turiya. So when you are awake, alert, understand, inquire, and click, crack that. That's when the etching happens. After that, it's a kind of irreversible stuff.
Okay.
So you may sleep, you can dream, you may have Sushupti, but when you wake up, you will wake up with the same knowledge saying, I'm not this body, mind, and complex, I'm everywhere. That's all. That happens actually. Once that happens. See, that's where, the benefit of this Atma vidya is that it's knowledge for good. It's knowledge for good actually. So once it comes, it's just there forever. You cannot be foxed by anyone after that actually. No matter whosoever comes, someone can, bring in Anatma vidya, they can't convince you at all actually. Once you understand this. Right? So that's the significance of Sa vidya ya vimukti. Fine. Shikanji, so hope it clarified your point.
Yes. Yes. It did. It did.
Okay,
Thank
fine.
you.
We'll chant Punamada. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Have a nice day, all of you. Enjoy Dashara.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.